and you can see that she's looking upwards. And this is one of my favorite poses to draw. I like, you can see the line of her chin, the mouth matches, the nose matches, the eyes here and the cheekbones. It's all kind of this arced line here. And I like the dramatic lighting so I can see the shadow and where the light hits her. I like her collarbone here and shoulders. And then, of course, emphasis here on this gown. And so I may even make the gown larger with the collage paper as we get there. So the face will be fairly small because we are going to be using this whole paper to capture her. And so for me, it's a challenge to actually draw smaller than it is to draw larger. So we'll see how this goes. And I'm going to keep it close for now as I'm drawing the face. So I'm going to kind of plan where her head is and neck. So I do like to kind of block things out. And then her shoulders. And she's got some flowers here in her hands. I'm kind of thinking about where her elbows come down and her waist. So this is just about blocking the whole thing in. And I like the lines. I'm probably going to leave the lines. They'll get covered up somewhat by collage paper. And then I'm going to come back in and start to refine the shapes that I'm seeing here. I'm just trying to stay loose. She's got really nice cheekbones. So I'm just kind of almost more shading it in than I am drawing. And it's a dead giveaway with the head tilt as to where everything lines up, where the ears are. So her ear, because her head is tilted back, is much lower than you might think. So you want to notice that her earlobe starts almost where her jawline is and goes up to her, below her cheekbone. And that helps contribute to the head tilt. And then because the head is tilted back, you know, you can see her neck is exposed here. It's going to be somewhat occluded by those flowers, but we're going to have to just make it up. So it's kind of like going back and carving into the scribbles. And with these lines that I had in creating the face, it's kind of making me think of a halo. And so I may work that into the painting. All right, so working on her shoulders. And I do kind of have a way that I like to draw body types, and I will come back in and kind of make things a little bit more angular. And I always feel more confident on one side than the other. I'm not sure why, but this left side, maybe because I'm left-handed, always feels easier than the right side. I'm noticing where her knuckles are on this hand, as that's going to give me the angle for her fingers. So I'll start to kind of block those in also, but I'm going to come back and work on those a bit more. And I feel like let's see, let me just finish this here. I feel like it's hard to really get what the hands look like, or even some of the body, until you get the paint on because of the shadowing. So sometimes I will block it in as best I can and then go back, and when paint gets added is when things start to make a difference to me. So I'm trying to make sure that her arms are in alignment with each other. And I actually have, let's see, her hands probably need to come up a little bit higher. Okay, let's see. So I'm just fine-tuning. I also like to take the eraser and just blot out some of the graphite. Alright, and let me get this wider so you can see. I have taken the gown to the bottom of the page, and I don't tend to tape my papers off. I tend to use the entire sheet. So if you want to have a border, then you might want to consider putting a little bit of tape or just a line, making sure that you leave space at the top and the bottom. I don't do that, but you might want to. And I almost like the hands how they are here, just not completely finished, and I will finish them with paint. And I'm just going to look at her head a little bit more. And with the shadows, we're going to capture her face really with paint. She's got really high cheekbones. The most important parts of this pose is the angle of the chin and the location of the nose and the eyes. And there's a light right on, right here. This is all shadow here. This is her eyelid. Goes all the way in, and her nose is right here. Shadow. My kitty is sitting on the chair with me and having a dream. Alright, I'm going to try to get this nose in here. So I recommend getting out your reference photo on your iPad so you can zoom it up, or your phone, or whatever device that you might have, so that you can really work that nose. Because this angle is a little bit challenging, but like I said, it's one of my favorites. So just getting all those little angles in. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. And I'm going to add just a little bit of hair. Maybe not as much as is in the photo, just a little bit around her head. And let's see, I think we're good. I think I'm happy with that, and I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to take a little bit of graphite off in some places to lighten it up before I add paint, but I think in general I'm happy with where she's at.